So the witching hour is that cruel little stretch between dinner and bedtime when your kids completely unravel, right as your own tank hits empty. But the reason it happens is almost never what it looks like. And by the end, I think you'll actually see that end of day meltdown as a strange kind of good news. Okay, so it's 5:40, you walk in the door and you are already running on empty. You gave everything you had at work. And now this second shift starts. And within about 4 minutes, somebody is on the floor because you cut the sandwich the wrong way. Dinner turns into a negotiation. The baby's crying. The older one won't put on their pajamas. And by the time you are kneeling on the bathroom floor at bath time, you hear yourself using a voice you swore you would never use. And then finally they fall asleep and you sit in the hallway flooded with guilt thinking, why is the hardest part of my day the part that's supposed to be all about love? This stretch between 5 and bedtime has a name. They call it the witching hour. And there's a reason it undoes even the most capable women. Thankfully, there is something that actually helps because it was never actually about having more patience. So I spent 20 years working with mothers, and this window, that end of the day, is the one almost everybody dreads, especially the high-achieving moms, the women who can hold it together through everything. And here's why it hits you so hard. You have spent your whole life being able to push through when you're depleted, dig deeper, power through, deliver anyway. That skill has never once failed you, except right here. The witching hour is the one area where pushing through on empty makes everything worse. Let's start with what's actually happening in that room, because it's not what it looks like. It looks like your kids are being difficult on purpose. They are not. Everybody's tank is empty at the exact same time, right? You've been giving all day at work, and your child has been holding it together all day too. At daycare, at school, being good, following the rules, managing big feelings in a room of other kids. They have been performing in their own little way since morning, and they walk in the door with nothing left. Same as you. The reason your child saves their absolute worst for you the second you walk in is not because you're doing something wrong or there's something wrong with them. It's because you're safe. They held it together all day for everyone else. They fall apart with you because you are the one person they trust to still love them at their messiest. That meltdown at 5:45 is not a rejection. In a strange way, it's actually a compliment. You're home base. So why does bedtime turn you into someone you don't recognize? Because you're being asked to hand out a calm that you don't actually have. You came home with an empty tank, right? And these little people are reaching into it all at once. You cannot pour from a cup that's empty, and no amount of trying harder fills it back up. So let me give you what actually helps, and none of it is about becoming a more patient person by sheer force of will. The first one happens before you even walk in. That transition from work to home is the most important 60 seconds of your day, and most of us just blow right through it. Sit in the car for 1 minute, put the work down, take a couple of slow breaths, and decide who you want to be when you open that door. You can't skip the reset and expect to walk in steady. The second one feels kind of backwards, so trust me on it. When you come in, connect before you do a single task. Get down on their level. Say hi with your whole face. Let them climb on you for 2 minutes before you start dinner, maybe even before you take off your coat. I know you're behind, but those 2 minutes of connection head off the 45-minute meltdown that comes when a kid who missed you all day gets handed a granola bar and a distracted hello. Third, lower the bar on purpose. The witching hour is survival hours. This is not the time to teach table manners, win the vegetable war, or run the perfect calming bedtime routine that you saw online. Your achievement brain wants to optimize this stretch. It doesn't need to be optimized. It needs everyone to get to sleep feeling loved. Aim for connected, not impressive. And when you've asked 5 times and you can feel the yell coming, the move isn't a better threat, it's one breath and a lower voice. In that moment, they're borrowing your state. And the fastest way to bring the temperature down in the room is to bring it down in you first. One more, and this one's for you. Protect a little bit of your own tank. a glass of water before the shift, 2 minutes alone on the porch, a quick change out of your work clothes, a snack you actually sit down to eat. It can seem too small to matter, but it changes what you have to give. The witching hour is still going to be hard. I'm not going to promise you peaceful candlelit evenings, but it stops being a verdict on the kind of mother you are. It's just the hardest hour of the day, 2 empty tanks in one small kitchen, and you meeting it with a little steadiness instead of more pressure. That's the whole shift, and it actually is enough. If this is landing, the piece right underneath it is what to do in the actual meltdown when your kid is on the floor and everybody is watching. And I made a video on exactly that, the grocery store tantrum. And it walks through what to do with yourself in the middle of it. So watch that one next. Okay, so tonight, when it all starts up around 5:30, remember what is actually going on. You are both running on empty at the exact same time. So reset before you walk in, connect before you fix, and lower the bar without the guilt. You have got this, okay? I'll see you in the next video.